Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, at the beginning of this session, myself and Representatives Olson and Whitsitt introduced legislation to address the critical issue of fraud within our human services programs. Given the unfortunate circumstances in our state, which has so many receiving assistance, and continued budget pressures giving rising costs, we should not afford or cannot afford to let fraud and abuse slip through our fingers. I commend the work done by the agency and its employees to fight this problem already, but there is always room for improvement. Unfortunately, bills to combat this problem died when the Chamber of Origin deadline passed. We even had an amendment to House Bill 2721 that the agency liked, which would have done nothing more drastic than create a work group to evaluate legislative proposals. That, too, died at the hands of Human Services Committee leadership. After that, we've seen a report from the Secretary of State calling for policy change, and we've seen news articles about specific examples of fraud. Yet still, colleagues, no action. The amendment I mentioned earlier now exists as an addition to Senate Bill 757, which came from the Senate without any opposition and addresses important issues in the TANF program. Yet here we are, the deadline for bills to be posted for a work session, and nothing scheduled for this positive, helpful, and widely supported piece of legislation. What I can't fathom is how elected officials can, on one hand, call for tax increases on Oregon families and businesses, and on the other hand, kill legislation aimed at ensuring the revenue we already receive from those families and businesses is spent without fraud. My hope is that by 5 p.m. today, Senate Bill 757 will be scheduled so that we can move that bill, including my amendment to create a fraud work group. Without such assurances to the public that we're willing to investigate and root out waste, how can we possibly ask them for anything more? Thank you.